You ever looked at a cloud and saw a face? Or thought you saw a pattern in random dots? That's not imagination. It's your brain trying to make sense of chaos, and it's called Gestalt theory. But here's the twist. Your brain isn't always right. Sometimes it groups things together that don't belong, creating illusions that feel real but are actually glitches in perception. But when it gets confused, it makes mistakes. These are called grouping glitches, when your brain misinterprets how elements relate to each other, creating patterns that don't actually exist. Today, we're diving into the weird, beautiful world of Gestalt theory and how your brain sometimes creates patterns that aren't there because it's trying to help you make sense of the world. So let's start with the first glitch, grouping. Your brain groups elements together based on proximity, similarity, and continuity, sometimes with unexpected results. So what exactly are we talking about? Gestalt theory is about how we see the whole, not just the parts. But sometimes our brain gets tricked into grouping things that don't belong together. That's what we're diving into today. This happens because our brain tries to make sense of the world by finding patterns and organizing information. But sometimes it goes too far, creating groupings that aren't actually there. Proximity is when the brain groups nearby elements together, even if they're not connected. This can lead to misperceptions when elements are close but don't belong together. Understanding these glitches helps us see how our brain works. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. And that's where the fun begins. You might not notice it, but your brain is constantly making assumptions about the world, and these assumptions can lead you astray. This isn't a flaw. It's a feature of how your mind simplifies complex data to make sense of it all. Understanding these glitches isn't just for psychologists. It's relevant to designers, artists, and even engineers. They all rely on how we perceive patterns in space to create meaningful experiences. Even in tech, from AI to user interfaces, Gestalt principles guide how we design systems that feel intuitive. But if you don't understand the rules, you might design something that feels off, even if it's logically correct. So, secretly, you're already using these principles every day, whether you realize it or not. Your brain's shortcuts are the reason you can navigate the world so quickly, even when it's not perfect. And that's why it matters. If you understand how your mind groups and misgroups things, you can design, create, and communicate more effectively, without ever having to say it out loud. Gestalt theory was born in the early 20th century, as psychologists sought to explain how we see the whole, not just the parts. Max Verheimer's 1912 experiments on motion perception laid the groundwork for this whole new way of thinking. By the 1920s, Wolfgang Kohler and Kurt Kafka expanded on Wertheimer's work, emphasizing how our minds organize sensory input into meaningful patterns, even when those patterns aren't physically there. The 1930s and 40s saw Gestalt principles applied to everything from psychology to art, with figures like Kurt Lewin using them to study human behavior and group dynamics. By the 1950s and 60s, Gestalt theory was being challenged by cognitive science, but its core ideas remained influential, especially in understanding perception and visual organization. Today, Gestalt grouping glitches are studied in cognitive psychology and neuroscience, helping us understand how the brain can be tricked into seeing patterns that aren't actually there. Imagine you're looking at a bunch of dots on a page. Some are close together and some are spread out. Your brain tries to group them, but sometimes it gets confused and makes weird shapes. Your brain thinks, these dots are probably part of the same shape, but sometimes it adds lines or connects them in ways that don't make sense. That's when the glitch happens. This is what Gestalt theory calls a grouping glitch. Your brain tries to make sense of the world, but sometimes it messes up and creates shapes that aren't really there. It's like when you're trying to find a pattern in a puzzle, but the pieces don't quite fit. Your brain is working hard, but it's making mistakes. So the core idea is, your brain tries to organize what it sees, but sometimes it gets confused and makes up shapes or patterns that aren't real. That's the glitch. To understand how Gestalt theory's grouping glitches work, we need to start with a simple setup. Imagine a screen filled with a random arrangement of dots and lines. Some straight, some curved, some overlapping, others spaced apart. This is the raw material of perception. These elements are placed with no inherent structure. Yet, our brain begins to impose order. The mind looks for patterns even when none are present. This is the first step in how grouping glitches happen. The brain starts to organize without guidance. This setup is crucial because it highlights how our perception is not always a direct reflection of reality. The brain is trying to make sense of ambiguity, which is why it sometimes creates patterns that don't exist. By starting with a neutral, ambiguous visual field, we're able to see how the brain automatically begins to group elements. This is the first step in understanding the glitches that occur when perception misleads us. This setup is more than just a visual exercise. It's a demonstration of how our mind works. It's the foundation on which all subsequent grouping glitches are built. The second step in this process is the brain's attempt to organize these elements into coherent patterns, using grouping principles like proximity, similarity, and continuity. It looks for elements that are close together and assumes they belong to the same group, even if they're not physically connected. The brain also tends to group similar elements, like shapes, colors, or orientations, as if they are part of a single object or pattern. Additionally, it seeks continuous lines or shapes, connecting gaps in a way that makes the image feel whole and natural. These grouping tendencies are automatic and unconscious, allowing us to make sense of complex visual scenes with remarkable speed. Now we reach the clever twist that makes Gestalt grouping so fascinating. It's not just about what we see, but how we interpret it even when the visual cues are ambiguous. This is the illusion of figure-ground organization, where our brain decides which elements belong to the object and which belong to the space around it, sometimes without clear visual clues. Even without shading or depth cues, our brain fills in the missing information to create a coherent image. This is why we can perceive a flat, two-dimensional drawing as a three-dimensional object. This twist highlights that Gestalt grouping isn't just about proximity or similarity. It's also about how we mentally complete what we see to form a meaningful whole. So, the clever twist is that Gestalt grouping isn't just about what we see. It's about how we mentally structure and interpret what we see, even when the input is incomplete or ambiguous. At the heart of Gestalt grouping lies a fascinating interplay between neural circuits and spatial coherence. The brain, wired to seek patterns, sometimes misfires when faced with ambiguity, leading to what we call perceptual glitches. These glitches aren't random. They're rooted in how the visual cortex processes edges, contours, and motion. When elements are close, aligned, or moving together, the brain tends to link them, even when they shouldn't be. Recent studies using fMRI have revealed that these perceptual errors are actually the brain's way of making sense of chaotic input. It's an evolutionary shortcut, not a flaw, though it can lead to surprising errors in perception. Understanding these glitches is key to decoding how we interpret the world. They're not just visual quirks. They are a window into the brain's decision-making processes under uncertainty. By studying these glitches, we uncover the hidden rules of perception. It's science that hums beneath the surface of how we see, feel, and understand reality itself. Imagine you're at a busy airport, trying to find your gate. You see a group of people, all dressed similarly, moving in the same direction. Your brain assumes they're all going to the same place, even though they might be heading to different gates. That's Gestalt's grouping glitch. Assuming similarity means unity. But what if two of them split off? Your brain still clings to the idea that they're a group, even though they're now moving separately. That's how Gestalt theory can mislead. It connects dots that aren't actually connected. It's like a puzzle where the brain fills in the blanks with assumptions, not facts. This is why we can be wrong, because our mind is making sense of chaos, not always getting it right. And here's the best part. This isn't a flaw, it's a feature. It's what allows us to make sense of a complex world in an instant, even if it means sometimes getting things slightly wrong. So next time you see a group of people or shapes, remember, your brain is making sense of the world, sometimes by grouping things that don't belong together. Before you go, if you enjoyed this, please give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And tell us in the comments what you'd like us to make next. We read every single one. Thank you so much for watching. Comment this emoji if you made it to the end.